Hey guys, so I got a little something different on the easel today. Alright, so if you guys have been following along on the surfing journey, you know about a month ago I went to Costco, picked up this board here, WAVESTORM. It's an 8-foot soft top, which means that it's kind of like foam on the top, not unlike a boogie board, and then the bottom's got hard plastic that helps it glide through the water. I have now been surfing on it for about a month. I started a month ago with no experience surfing at all. And so now I figured I'd give you guys a little review and kind of share the things that I learned, some of the things that you may need to pick up to help make your surfing experience better, especially as a beginner. You don't want to get discouraged. So I'll start off. The first thing that I learned was that you need wax. I didn't know if you waxed a soft top. Typically people wax fiberglass boards. So I even asked a few people and they're like, I don't know if you wax it or not. Well, I went out the first day, my feet were slipping off, my hands would slip off when I tried to pop up. So I went to the surf shop over in Lindemar and they said, oh yeah, we put a little bit of wax on our soft tops for the students. So I picked up this, which is Mr. Zog's Sex Wax. You may have heard of this if you're a surfer. This is a cold water formula, which means it's like kind of sticky. And basically what it is just like, kind of like, not unlike like a bar of soap in a way, but it smells good too. It smells like coconuts and yeah, it smells like a summer vacation. So you want to put wax on your board for sure. So if you're picking up one of these, get some wax too. The other thing you're going to want to consider is getting a new leash. Here's the leash that it came with. The leash attaches to the back of the board here, and then the other end attaches to your ankle with Velcro so that your board doesn't get away from you when you wipe out. This leash here, I measured it, it's only 6.5 feet long, which is too short for an 8-foot board. The other thing too is that this leash doesn't have swivels on it. It just ties, basically what happens is, it ends up as the board, as you fall off the board and it spins in the waves, this starts twisting and then it's just constantly in your toes and under your feet. So this leash, no good. So what I did was I picked up, this is a $30 leash and it's an 8-foot leash. It's actually a little bit longer. And if you have an 8-foot board, you need an 8-foot leash. You should always get a leash apparently that's just slightly longer than the board you're surfing on. So this one was advertised as an 8-foot leash. It's actually a little bit more. It's by Dakine. So far so good. And this one, I don't know if you can see right here, but it's got swivels. So when your board turns over in the waves, you're not building up this twisted tension in your leash. And so since getting this leash, I've had no problems with it getting in my toes and under my feet. It seemed like with that other leash, like every time I'd pop up, literally every time, it was under my feet, in my toes, ruined a lot of good rides. So when you're just starting out, like, you're like, oh, I'm finally up, and then like I'm all tangled in this leash. So that's something to look out for. I definitely suggest getting a new one. This is a really nice one. It was $30. And well worth the money, especially when you consider you only spend $99 on the board. So $99 on the board and $30 for a leash, $130. That's great. So that's another thing you need. As far as the performance goes, super easy to paddle, very buoyant, fast. So it's easy to paddle into waves. Sometimes I don't even have to like paddle. I can, if I'm like standing and a wave comes, I just hop on it and I'm on the wave. I don't even have to paddle. So definitely really like the performance of it. So it's a great beginner board. Like I said, just pick up wax and pick up a new leash. You can try the other leash, but I think you're gonna find pretty quickly that it's gonna get in your toes and in your feet and it's gonna be kind of a drag. So a new leash will fix that. Let's see, so a couple other things that these are sort of peripheral things that I found out. Like I was going out on days that were sort of overcast and I got so burned, and I've had actually some skin cancer removed, like some pre-cancer stuff, like surgery on the side of my head. So it's something I got to be careful about. What you basically want is like a 50, like some sort of sunscreen that's got 50 SPF 50 and then also like with zinc in it. I asked my dermatologist and she said, yeah, like 20% zinc. So I got Neutrogena. This is water resistant up to 80 minutes. It'll make you look like the Joker or whatever. I mean, it really will make you look pale, but there's a lot of people out there that just cake this on, and you know, getting burned, it adds to the exhaustion factor too. Like the days that I went out and I surfed and I got burned, like my face got burned, I was pretty exhausted. I think the burn actually takes it out of you too. So definitely recommend sunscreen even if it's foggy. Like I said, I was surfing late in the day and early in the morning, and I was still getting burned I was using something else. I think I was using copper tone, which probably just washed right off. So get good sunscreen. The other thing is you're going to need to find a way to lock up your car. And I actually had my keys stolen. I had my flip-flops on the beach with my keys, and they were stolen. Fortunately, they didn't get into my car, but I was in the parking lot for 2 hours until somebody could bring me my keys, my spare keys. I met a lot of people that day. A lot of nice people, actually. I had people offering to drive me home, people offering to buy, you know, letting me use their phone and all kinds of stuff. But I was pretty much stuck. I was just in my wetsuit with my board, locked out of my car for at least 2 hours, maybe more. So I went straight away, and I can't take the key into the water because it's an electronic key. So I would clip it to my flip-flops and then put it underneath a rock. And a lot of people do that and have had no problem. Like when I told people, they're like, what, really? So it's just strange. But anyway, so what I did was I went out and I got a non-electric key. I don't know, just a regular key. I had this made, and then I've got it on a shoelace, and I put it over my neck and then tuck it back in my wetsuit so I can actually go out in the water with this key. This key will not start the car though. It'll get you into the car, but it needs to have some sort of chip in it to be able to start the car. So what I do is now I just lock my keys in the car, and this is how I get in. So I can get back in, and then I got my regular keys and I can drive away. So that's something you want to think about. You can also put your key in a lockbox or something underneath, but don't put it on your tire because now I know experienced surfers know this, but I'm assuming a lot of you are just getting started. A lot of people, there would be people that will, I should say certain surfing spots, there will be people that will sit and look and watch in the lot, and if they see you put your keys on your tire, they'll wait till you go and then they'll go over and get your keys. And that happened to my brother down in Santa Cruz. It happened to another guy I was talking to in the lot. I literally talked to 8 people, had really nice conversations with people while I was waiting for my keys to arrive. And some other guy was saying, oh yeah, it happened to me in Dana Point. They stole everything, whatever. Incidentally, when I did get into my car, they didn't find my car with the keys, and so nothing was stolen. I was just out. I just lost my keys, that was it. So it could have been much worse. Anyway, so having a key that you can take in the water, I think, is a good thing. This thing cost me $45 to have this made, but it's worth it. Okay, so next, in the beginning, like I would go out and I had no idea how long I was in the water. Now I have a watch. This is like a Citizen diver's watch that has like a solar panel on it. I got it years ago. The band was broken, so I went out and I got a new band over at Sears for like $16. And so now I wear this watch out into the water and I know how long I'm in the water. And the reason that's important is because there was one time I was out there for 3 hours and 10 minutes. I didn't realize it, and then the next day I was pretty much useless. So if I want to still continue to work, I've got to limit it at this point to about 90 minutes. And actually, I've been out 3 days in a row for 90 minutes. Actually, one time like 2 hours. So my stamina is building up, but at first there, I just would, you know, if I went out for even 90 minutes, I was pretty much useless the next day. So anyway, having a watch, a waterproof watch, can be really helpful. And what I do is I just put it on, and then obviously I pull the sleeve of my wetsuit over it so it's protected. In case the band does break, I'm not gonna lose the watch. Now, the next thing is I wanna document the experience of like going out and everything, but I need a waterproof camera, and I mentioned on one of the videos that you know, I need to get a GoPro. And fellow artist and YouTuber Dennis Tyson, he's a vlogger, like a painter and stuff, and he emailed me and offered me his GoPro. He got a new camera for filming his videos, and I'll link his information down below, so you can go check out his painting vlogs and his painting videos. But yeah, he offered me his GoPro. So this is like a Hero 4 right here, and super nice. So I'm gonna actually send him this painting, which is of, let's see where this is, Point Pinos down in, this was done plein air down in Pacific Grove. So I sent him a few pictures, you know, some paintings to look at, and he picked this one here. So this is gonna go in his new apartment in Southern California. So in any case, yeah, so I've got this, but I've got to get a way to mount it to the board, and that's what I'm working on right now. Also, I need a little mini SD card or whatever. So surf video footage coming up for sure. Super stoked. Really nice of Dennis to do that. Much obliged. Thank you, Dennis. So that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. Definitely get my stamina up. The one thing I want to say about it is like, if you're starting surfing or painting or anything, in the beginning there was like a lot of stuff that was super discouraging for me. Like the first day I went out, I remember my shoulder really hurting, and I'm like, you know, and I thought, am I just too old for this, or is this like not a good idea? And then I got all these people telling me about like sharks and all that, and like, oh, you're gonna get eaten by sharks. So like, I just thought, I'm not stopping. I'm gonna keep going. And I know the people that were mentioning sharks were well-intentioned, but it was pretty overwhelming, the amount of people that were like, it was the same when I moved from New Jersey to California. Everybody's like, oh, I wouldn't move out there. Earthquakes, you know, whatever. I went through the Loma Prieta quake in '89. That was pretty bad, and still, you know, anyway, everything seems worse when you read about it or hear about it on the news or whatever. And I know people have been killed by sharks in California. I did the odds on it. The odds of being killed by a shark are something like 560 million to 1. You're more likely to be crushed by a vending machine. I think, like, I don't know what the accident rates are for bicycles, but people are riding bikes all the time. If you were to tell somebody you're getting into cycling, I don't think people are like, oh my God, that's dangerous. But surfing, everybody goes to like great whites, sharks, whatever. I understand that, but it's, yeah, especially the place I'm surfing, I don't really feel like it's a problem. And you gotta live. But anyhow, there's certain things, what I'm saying is, there's certain things that can discourage you from keeping going on. Like if you're a plein air painter, you may be like going out and being intimidated about setting up in front of other people. I remember that being huge. The key is you just have to push through that first month. Just keep doing it. And whatever it is, whether it's surfing or plein air painting or whatever, you're gonna get to the point where you don't care. Like at this point now, I set up on city streets. I literally do not think anything of it. It just comes with experience. Actually paddling out the first few times, I was intimidated, like, you know, were people gonna like judge me or yell at me or whatever? And then there was the physical impact that it had on me, and I started questioning whether it was a good idea to be learning surfing. You know, at this point in my life, I'm 54 years old, and I'm not kidding. Honestly, I don't feel any different at this point now that I'm getting conditioned. I don't feel any different than I did when I was like, say, 20. So the other thing that actually, when you're older, and I know I'm rambling here, but as you're older, I think there's certain things, like I've been more methodical about educating myself on this. Like I apply the same process that I applied to learning how to paint. And as you guys know, I've talked about, like, when you go out and you fail, you come home and you look at that painting and you say, okay, what is going on here? Like, what went wrong and how can I fix that problem? Well, I just applied that to surfing. So I went out and I was like, all right, what's happening here? Like the first step was like, let me just try to get up, you know? And then I looked at videos on how you pop up. And then the next thing was like, all right, I'm gonna surf the whitewater, okay? And then that was pretty, you know, like get up on the whitewater. And then I was like, all right, now I wanna get on the face of a wave. How do I do that? So I went on YouTube and kind of like started watching all these videos about reading waves and how to position yourself and that sort of thing. So the point is, the beginning of anything you do, whether it's painting or surfing or anything, playing a musical instrument, it's going to be really difficult at first. Just push through, do not give up, and it gets easier and more fun, and it's totally worth it. So anyway, I could ramble, as you guys know, about this stuff forever probably. As usual, thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you in the next video.